Before the first temple rose from stone, before the first scripture was inscribed, an image lived in the mind of every ancient civilization, a tree that pierces the sky, a pillar that holds the cosmos in place, a bridge between the worlds of gods and mortals, between the visible and the invisible, between what is and what cannot be named. This was the Axis Mundi, the world tree, the cosmic pillar around which all existence turns. From the highlands of ancient Persia to the apocalyptic visions of Jewish seers, from the celestial ascents of Enoch to the planetary spheres of Hermetic philosophy, this single image repeats, not as metaphor, not as decoration, but as cosmological architecture, the structure by which reality itself unfolds. The tree is vertical. Its roots descend into primal darkness, into waters that existed before creation. Its trunk stands at the center of the world, the axis of embodied existence. Its branches rise through layer upon layer of heaven, through star realms and angelic palaces, through spheres of light that no mortal eye has seen. Every ancient tradition knew this tree. Every esoteric system climbed it. And at its summit, where branch becomes pure light, where form dissolves into the infinite, stands the throne of what cannot be spoken. This is the cosmology that predates all religions, the vertical order that structures every sacred ascent. Long before philosophical systems emerged, the earliest Indo-Iranian peoples conceived reality as vertically stratified. Heaven above, earth in the middle, underworld below. Three realms held in cosmic tension, connected by a single axis. This was not primitive symbolism, but sophisticated metaphysics. The universe structured as a living organism, with root, trunk, and crown. The vertical dimension was understood as primary, the horizontal as derivative. In ancient Persian tradition, the Gaukerena, the white hauma tree, grows at the center of the cosmic ocean, Vurukasha. All healing plants descend from its seeds. The tree of immortality, guarded by sacred forces, stands as the axis connecting all planes of existence. Around it, the cosmos revolves. Through it, divine essence flows downward into manifestation. Persian priests understood this not as allegory, but as cosmological fact, the actual structure by which Ahura Mazda's creative power reached into the world of matter and time. Early Jewish mysticism, particularly in apocalyptic literature, describes cosmic trees that reach from earth to the highest heaven. These are not the stylized diagrams of later Kabbalah, but literal cosmological structures, pillars of living force connecting the throne of God to the foundations of the world. Enoch ascends past them. Angels descend along them. The tree appears in Daniel's visions, in Merkava texts, in fragments preserved at Qumran, always as vertical axis, always as pathway between worlds. Before Enoch's celestial journey was codified, older traditions mapped heaven as vertical ascent through progressive stages. Mesopotamian ziggurats mimicked this structure, each level bringing the priest closer to divine proximity. Egyptian pyramids encoded it, their geometry replicating the cosmic mountain that connects Earth to the imperishable stars. The cosmic mountain, the world pillar, the celestial ladder, all variations of a single primordial insight. Reality is not horizontal, but vertical, organized by ascending degrees of subtlety and power. Hermetic cosmology inherits this vertical architecture, transforming the mythic tree into philosophical precision. The 7 planetary spheres, the sphere of fixed stars, the divine realms beyond, each a layer of the cosmic tree, each a degree of ascent for the awakened soul. The nous itself functions as the world tree's summit, where consciousness touches pure intelligence. Hermetic texts preserve what older mythologies encoded in symbol. The soul's journey is vertical movement through graduated realms of light. The roots descend into what existed before light. In Persian myth, they drink from Vorukasha, the cosmic ocean. In Jewish cosmology, they rest upon the Tehom, the primal deep. These are not physical waters, but the invisible substrate of manifestation, the unformed potential from which all worlds emerge. Here dwell the forces too ancient for names, too deep for human comprehension. The roots anchor the visible in the invisible, drawing upward the primordial substance that will crystallize into form. Deeper still, the roots penetrate realms where no light has ever shone. Ancient Near Eastern cosmology understood these as abysses beneath the Earth's foundations, not places of punishment, but zones of pure potentiality, where the forces that precede creation remain in their undifferentiated state. The roots of the world tree touch this absolute depth, ensuring that all manifestation remains connected to its ultimate source. The trunk rises through the terrestrial plane, the realm of embodied existence. This is the axis of tension between above and below, the point where invisible force becomes visible form. Mountains were understood as fragments of this trunk breaking through the surface. Sacred pillars in temples represented it. The trunk is vertical order made manifest, the principle of centrality around which all horizontal space organizes itself. Here at the center, the world maintains its connection to both root and crown. The branches spread upward through layered heavens. In Persian tradition, they extend through the star sphere, the moon sphere, the sun sphere, each realm governed by luminous beings. Jewish apocalyptic texts describe branches reaching through firmaments of crystal and fire. Enoch climbs past them into palaces of the Most High. Each branch is a world unto itself, more refined than the one below. The branches do not merely occupy space, but create space, establishing the architecture through which divine light descends. The Persian Gao Karena stands eternal at the center of existence. From its seeds flow all healing, all restoration. Its branches shelter the divine bird Saina, whose wings scatter knowledge across creation. The tree itself contains the elixir of immortality, not symbolic, but ontologically real within Persian cosmology. It grows where 3 dimensions intersect the eternal. Zoroastrian texts describe how the tree endures through all ages of the world, surviving even the great conflagration that will purify existence at the end of time. Early Jewish texts describe trees that reach heaven, Not Eden's forbidden tree, but cosmic pillars, seen in prophetic vision. These trees mark thresholds between worlds. Angels ascend and descend through their structure. They function as vertical passages, gates between planes of reality. Ezekiel's vision includes such imagery, as do fragments of throne mysticism that predate canonical scripture. The Book of Enoch mentions trees of extraordinary height near the throne of God. In Hermetic philosophy, the soul's ascent through planetary spheres follows the structure of the cosmic tree. Each sphere strips away a layer of earthly attachment, a branch of lower consciousness. The ascent is not metaphorical wandering, but precise vertical movement through ontological degrees. The moon governs the lowest sphere, then Mercury, Venus, the Sun, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, each realm governed by intelligences that test the ascending soul. The nous waits at the summit, pure intelligence beyond form, the crown of the world tree where light becomes consciousness itself. The cosmic tree is not external architecture, but the very structure of awareness itself. Consciousness exists in vertical strata, unconscious depths below, embodied awareness in the middle, transcendent knowing above. The tree maps this ontological reality. To climb it is not symbolic journey, but actual transformation of being, a movement through degrees of subtlety and light. Hermetic initiates understood this. The cosmos they mapped was simultaneously the landscape of their own consciousness, awakening to its true nature. The roots represent what consciousness rests upon but cannot see, the unconscious substrate, the primal matrix from which thoughts emerge. In Hermetic terms, these are the waters of primordial nous before differentiation, the unmanifest potential that precedes all form. Ancient seers knew that what lies beneath determines what rises above. The roots are causation itself, the invisible ground from which all visible effects emerge. To understand the roots is to grasp how consciousness arises from depths it cannot fully comprehend. The trunk is the vertical axis of human existence, the point where invisible force crystallizes into visible world. Here, consciousness experiences itself through form, through sensation, through the interplay of spirit and matter. This is the realm of tension, where opposing forces meet, not as conflict, but as creative polarity. The trunk is presence, the eternal now made manifest. It is the plane where choice becomes possible, where the soul stands between ascent and descent. The branches represent progressive refinement of consciousness, each layer more subtle, more luminous, more transparent to divine intelligence. In Hermetic ascent, these are the planetary spheres through which the soul moves upward. In Persian cosmology, they are the star realms where gods dwell. In Enochian vision, they are the palaces of angels arrayed in ascending glory. Each branch is a world, a state of being, a degree of liberation from density. The Axis Mundi is not one thing among things, but the principle of vertical order itself, the metaphysical structure by which multiplicity organizes into hierarchy, by which the one unfolds into many without losing unity. This is why every esoteric tradition returns to it. because reality is not flat, not chaotic, but vertically stratified by degrees of light and subtlety. The tree is the cosmos recognizing itself as ordered ascent. In Hermeticism, the summit of the world tree is nous, universal intelligence, the first emanation of the ineffable One. Here, the vertical journey completes itself. The climber becomes the tree, awareness becomes aware of awareness, consciousness returns to its own source. This is not mystical dissolution, but metaphysical precision. The structure of reality, revealed as the structure of mind itself. The nous is both goal and origin, both summit and seed. Persian cosmology centers on the Gao-Karina as axis of immortality and order. The Hyoma ritual, ingestion of sacred plant essence, enacts communion with the world tree's life force. Zoroastrian vertical cosmology arranges reality in ascending planes: earth, star sphere, moon sphere, sun sphere, infinite light. The tree unites them. Ascent is return to Ahura Mazda through vertical degrees of Asha, cosmic order personified as living structure. Enochian literature describes ascent through multiple heavens, each separated by firmaments of crystal and fire. The cosmic tree appears implicitly as the vertical axis Enoch travels, past angelic watchers, through celestial palaces toward the throne. His journey is not horizontal travel, but vertical penetration of reality's layered structure. The tree is the ladder Jacob saw, the pillar Moses climbed, the axis all prophets ascend. Hermetic texts describe souls descending through planetary spheres, acquiring qualities at each layer, then ascending back through the same structure, shedding those qualities to return purified to the source. The cosmos itself functions as world tree, its spheres the branches, its divine summit the crown. The Poamandra's vision encodes this: the soul climbing back through 7 governors toward the 8th sphere, where the nous dwells eternal. Early Jewish throne mysticism conceives the tree of life not as diagram, but as living cosmic architecture. The Merkava tradition describes ascent through palaces, hekalot, arranged vertically, each more glorious, each more dangerous, each closer to the throne's unbearable radiance. The tree is pathway and danger both. Only the worthy climb it. To ascend is to risk annihilation in divine proximity. Gnostic cosmology arranges the aeons, emanations of the divine fullness, in vertical hierarchy. The pleroma itself is world tree, rooted in the unknown Father, branching into paired powers, descending through progressively denser emanations until manifestation crystallizes in the material realm. Salvation is reascent through these same layers, climbing back through aeons toward the summit of gnosis, where knower and known dissolve into unity. The cosmic tree is not metaphorical expression, but ancient scientific model, a mapping of reality's actual structure as experienced by those who penetrated beyond surface appearance. Every esoteric tradition that describes vertical cosmology reports the same architecture: layered worlds, progressive refinement, ascending toward source. This consistency across cultures suggests not borrowing, but independent discovery of objective metaphysical truth. The tree is not invented but discovered, not constructed but revealed to those whose consciousness opens to perceive the actual vertical organization of being itself. The world tree embodies the fundamental duality of existence, the manifest and the unmanifest, the visible realm of forms and the invisible realm of causes. The trunk is the visible world, solid and apparent. The roots and branches extend into invisibility. One direction toward primal potential, the other toward pure intelligence. Ancient cosmology encoded this. What is seen rests upon what cannot be seen. The visible world is not self-sustaining, but depends utterly on invisible foundations and is perpetually drawn upward toward invisible light. Reality is not chaotic, but hierarchically ordered by degrees of subtlety, power, and proximity to source. The cosmic tree expresses this law. Existence unfolds through progressive emanation, each layer less dense than the one above, each realm governed by its own laws. To understand vertical cosmology is to understand how the one becomes many without fragmentation, how unity persists through multiplicity. The hierarchy is not arbitrary, but reflects actual gradations of being. The Axis Mundi is simultaneously principle of order and channel of flow. It structures the cosmos into stable hierarchy while allowing divine essence to descend and souls to ascend. This paradox, fixity and movement combined, defines sacred architecture. Temples, rituals, initiations all seek to align with this axis, to become points where the vertical intersects the horizontal, where eternity touches time. The axis is not static pillar, but living artery, pulsing with the circulation of divine power downward and awakened consciousness upward. Hermetic philosophy preserves the vertical cosmology with philosophical precision, stripped of mythological ornamentation. The planetary spheres, the ascent through governors, the return to nous, these are the world tree translated into abstract metaphysics. Hermeticism reveals what ancient myth encoded. Consciousness itself is structured like a living tree, rooted in mystery, reaching toward infinite light. The cosmic tree survives because it maps something true. Not culturally conditioned, not historically contingent, but structurally accurate to the architecture of consciousness and cosmos. This is why Persia, Judea, Egypt, Greece, all independently articulate vertical cosmology. This is why every authentic esoteric system returns to layered heavens, ascending planes, progressive initiation. The tree is not belief but recognition of how reality actually works. The cosmic tree still stands in every sacred cosmology, invisible but absolute. Its roots descend into waters that existed before time, drinking from the source that has no name. Its trunk rises through the world of forms, the axis around which all visible existence turns. Its branches spread through layered heavens, each realm more luminous than the last, each sphere closer to the light that cannot be approached. Every ascent follows the same vertical path. Every initiation climbs the same pillar. Every soul that seeks return must move upward through the structure, shedding density at each branch, ascending through progressive transparency, until form dissolves and consciousness stands naked before its own eternal nature. The Axis Mundi is not symbol. It is the order by which the invisible becomes visible, by which the one unfolds into many, by which heaven and earth maintain their separation and their union. Persia knew it. Enoch climbed it. Hermeticism mapped it with precision. One tree connecting earth to eternity. And those who find it discover that the path upward was always the path inward, that the cosmic tree grows nowhere but in the vertical architecture of their own awakened mind.